The following is a presentation of the ACC Network, an exclusive production of Raycom Sports.
With less than 3 weeks remaining in the regular season, the road to Brooklyn is heating up. Today, Louisville and Pitt meet for a second time on a Sunday Slam matinee in the Steel City, right here on the ACC Network. We move into this second weekend in February, and all roads ultimately take us to the New York Life ACC tournament in Brooklyn. And now today, Sunday matinee basketball at the Peterson Event Center in front of the Oakland Zoo, second meeting of the year between the Cardinals and the Panthers. And a quick check of the ACC standings after yesterday's very active day shows you a group of 6 schools right there with 3 to 5 losses in ACC play, and 7-5 Louisville is among them. Great to be with Bobby Crimmins, West Durham. We welcome you courtside to our coverage. Bobby, the premium on these last 3 weeks is just enormous for teams like Louisville.
Absolutely, Wes. You know, Louisville's lost 2 out of 3 at home. And they got to make that up for a win here today on the road.
Well, Pittsburgh will certainly provide a test at the Peterson Event Center, but Louisville's been keyed by defense in David Padgett's first season, and that takes us to our innovative plays brought to you by Progressive Insurance, your first-round draft pick for car insurance. Bobby, this is the 3rd best shot blocking team in the country.
They really connect so well together. Wes, you got to shoot over these guys. Here you see backside help by the big guy Mahmoud. He's going to come over and get another block for the Cardinals, and once they get that block, they're off and running.
Well, and of course, Anas Mahmoud, the junior from Egypt, leads the ACC in block shots and is 7th nationally. So stay tuned. Sunday matinee basketball in Pittsburgh. Panthers and Cards, round 2, coming up next on the ACC Network.
ACC basketball is being brought to you by Geico, saving people money for over 75 years. By Gatorade, win from within. By your Carolina Ford dealers. And by Bojangles, it's bow time.
Well, a quick look inside the trophy case here at the Peterson Event Center as we welcome you back to ACC Network coverage of Pittsburgh and Louisville, and a quick check of the food line. Starting lineups, Darius Perry inserted into the lineup for David Padgett because of the lingering ankle injury for Ding Adele, who is not dressed today, and that is the storyline for the Cardinals. The number 10 scorer in the league at almost 16 points a game and averaging 5 rebounds will sit this one out, in part, Bobby, because Louisville does not play again after today until Saturday at home against Carolina.
Yeah, I think it's a smart move by Coach Padgett, and Darius Perry played very well against Georgia Tech. This is a big game for Louisville, West. They can't be messing around. They got to take care of business here today after losing 2 out of 3 at home. They beat Georgia Tech on Wednesday night. So let's see if Pitt will get after them.
Pittsburgh starts their 16th different lineup that features Terrell Brown and also Kenna Chawuka, who's got the ball in the corner and is bumped and fouled by Ray Spalding. First on Spalding, first on the Cards. And a look at Spalding, the junior from Trinity High School in Louisville, averaging 9 rebounds and almost a dozen points a game. The most impressive stat for Spalding is, Bobby, at 6'10", he's averaging a steal and a half a game, which is 6th in the ACC.
He can rebound. He usually comes off the bench because of foul situation, but Coach Padgett decided to start him a couple of games ago.
Nice screen by Brown, and here's the freshman Carr against Anas Mahmoud. On the drive, feeds Brown, and the dunk got blocked partially. And then almost taken away by Perry. Reset of the shot clock for Pittsburgh. Carr threw it away to V.J. King. King on the run. Lost the handle on it. Rolls to the deck, and a held ball that will belong to Louisville. And a quick check of Bobby Crimmins. Forward keys to the game brought to you by your Carolina Ford dealers.
Well, Wes, let's see what we have here. For Louisville, they had 38 points off the bench against Georgia Tech and get that home win after losing 3 in a row. And for Pitt, they just have to get off to a great start, and they got to keep it going. You know, they come close, but of course they have not finished. Now that's a great start for that guy who's been in a little bit of a slump, Quentin Snyder. Jump hook, jump layup.
Only had 4 points in the win against Georgia Tech. Just one of his last 13 from the floor prior to the runner there. Louisville man-to-man. Parker Stewart inside. Chukwuka the catch and score.
Great execution. He got open on a back screen and a beautiful pass. Pitt has nothing to lose. They ought to just throw it all out here today.
Snyder, Mahmoud, Darius Perry flashing from the corner. Another catch and shoot. There's Snyder for 3. Out front, Quentin Snyder's 39th triple of the year.
Boy, that's a great thing for Coach Padgett to see. He has not hit a 3 in a few games. And to see the Q get off to a great start, good sign for Louisville.
3-point lead for the Cards. Two minutes gone in Carr. Here's Parker Stewart. Chukwuka. And that ball got deflected in the backcourt. Snyder got a hand. Nope, did not. So it's a turnover. Here's a look at that shot a moment ago.
Yeah, watch the back screen here. See the back screen set up? Beautiful pass. Wide open. That's great. That's what you call great offensive execution. And they're going to need a lot more of that today.
Panthers turnover. Here's Snyder. Bounced it between the wickets of Spalding, so Louisville returns it on their first giveaway of the game.
You can't throw a pass at the feet for the big guy, Wes. You got to throw it above the rim. Big guys don't like to go down to their toes to catch a ball.
So the turnover gives Pittsburgh another crack at it. Stewart, that's a 3. Air ball. King the rebound. VJ from Cleveland. He's got several folks here today. Inside here is Mahmoud, a little up and under for the bucket.
We're going to see the ball going inside a lot for Louisville.
With Spalding and Mahmoud, Bobby, two big guys that are as mobile as they are. It's an impressive characteristic of this particular Louisville team for sure.
No, that's why preseason they were ranked, because of their front line strength.
Carr with 12 to shoot. Parker Stewart on the kick out. Freshman from Tennessee, he's got his 50th triple of the year.
I know his dad would be proud of him. His dad's a basketball coach. Coaches at Tennessee Martin. And what I love about that, he didn't hesitate.
Spalding the catch off the Perry throw. And a whistle and a foul will be on Chukwuka.
Good shooters got to continue to shoot. And he just almost threw up an air ball previously, but he doesn't hesitate. Square up, nothing but the bottom of the net.
And here is Ray Spalding, the junior from Trinity High School in Louisville. And the first free throw by Spalding, a 66% free throw shooter, bounces away.
They're not good free throw shooters.
And Spalding at 66, Mahmoud is 44.
Yep, got to work on that.
As a team, Bobby, the number's not bad. They're almost 74% as a team, but those two guys in particular are not especially effective at the stripe.
No, Malik Williams, who will be coming in here shortly, he's a better shooter than Spalding and Mahmoud.
Carr tried to get it to Brown. Ball got kicked. And with that, on cue, Crimmins, here is Malik Williams.
Oh, yeah.
Freshman from Fort Wayne, Indiana.
I like this guy. He can shoot the 3. He's different than the other two big guys.
He's 5.5 points and almost 3 rebounds in conference play. And he spells Ray Spalding in Coach Padgett's lineup. There's Cameron Davis, another one of these young pups on the lineup for Kevin Stallings. This is the 5th youngest basketball team in all of Division I. Carr, a 3. Rattles it in. Marcus Carr on the board for the Panthers.
And he's been playing so much better. Now the crowd's starting to get into it a little bit. And one of the keys to the game, get off to a good start, and Pitt seemed to have done that. First
lead of the day for Pittsburgh, Mahmoud. Can't score against Brown. Carr leads the break.
Good patience by Pitt.
Screen by Brown. Carr on the drive. Mahmoud slapped it out of there. Chukwuka, the recovery. Stewart guns and hits.
How about this, Wes?
Timeout for Louisville. Parker Stewart, a pair of threes. Louisville's got 3 triples in their first 4 field goals. And they've got a 9-0 run and a 4-point lead at the Peterson Event Center as we continue in a moment. Well, Bobby, here early on, Pittsburgh getting some big plays, most of it behind the line.
Well, Wes, we talked to Coach Stallings before the game, and he said they got to make shots. And guess what? They're making shots. 3 threes.
Marcus Stewart, a pair of them. Marcus Carr, the other one. And Kevin Stallings in year 2 here at Pittsburgh. And tell you what, for the struggle, which has been real, obviously they've lost 12 straight, 8-17 overall. Bobby, still very optimistic, still very encouraged by the development of his basketball team.
He thinks they're getting better. He sees light at the end of the tunnel. He's got a couple of guys sitting out. Of course, we all know about Ryan Luther. How about that jump hook?
Nas Mahmoud's second field goal.
Ryan Luther, who would have been a senior, given some experience. And they have Purvis Ellison's son sitting out, a transfer from St. John's.
Yeah, Malik Ellison's an outstanding athlete. Contributed to the Red Storm a year ago and then transferred over. So he'll be eligible next year at the front of the season. Terrell Brown, who had a nice offensive ball game the other night at Clemson with 19 points. Had that one rim out. Here's Perry, nice pass inside, and King is fouled by Marcus Carr. That'll be number 1 on Carr and number 2 on the Panthers.
You see the quickness starting for Adele. Beautiful pass.
Ooh.
You know, Pitt has come close. You know, I watched the NC State game that you did. I thought for sure they were going to win that game. They lost here at home to Syracuse by 5 points.
Right.
You know, we've seen what St. John's has shocked the country after what they've done. And, you know, these kids, if they continue to stay together, work hard, and make shots, they might have a shot.
Second one missed by King, and then Malik Williams tried to make the save, couldn't come up with it. So David Padgett's team and trails a point.
Here comes that pressure.
Yep.
Let's see if Pitt can handle it.
Double team in the backcourt. Snyder and Williams. Chukwuka to Davis.
Good job.
They didn't panic, Bobby. Right?
No, Marcus Carr, you got to get the ball to him. Stewart with the hot hand. Run your offense. Be patient and just get the good shot.
Here's Carr. Kick for Davis. 4 to shoot. Got to hurry. Carr will throw it up. Almost banked in.
Good Louisville defense.
Snyder for Perry. Sailing through. Dumps it inside to catch and score by Malik Williams. First points for the freshman Malik Williams.
That's where the advantage is for Louisville. Inside West. Pound it inside.
Well, Darius Perry's done a nice job helping them get the ball in transition.
I like the young man. Very quick.
5-0 run by the Cards in the last 90 seconds. 10 to shoot. Carr to work again. In traffic, hesitates. And Williams the rebound. Here is Snyder, senior from Ballard in Louisville.
Keep going inside.
King, a front rim miss.
Coach Paget doesn't like that.
Nope, and quickly summoned Jordan Wara off the bench. Now Perry pushes it. Snyder loops around the top.
He can shoot that, Wes.
There's the 3, Bobby. You like Malik Williams, don't you?
I do.
17th 3 of the year for Williams. The run now is 8-0.
It'd be hard to play all 3 big guys together. The way he shoots, though, you might be able to put him on the wing.
Cards in front by 4. Stewart for Brown. Davis now pushes one up. Slapped around by Terrell Brown, but right at Darius Perry. Boy, Louisville already down the floor, and V.J. King can't finish. Mahmoud had it and got banged out of bounds by Chukwuka. And Malik Williams has come off the bench for David Padgett and given him a spark here, Bobby.
No question. I like the energy. There you see a beautiful pass. Big guy going up strong. And as we alluded to, he can shoot the three. Bingo. I like the energy of both teams right now.
Substitutions both sides as well. Peace Eligoma has come onto the floor with Jonathan Milligan and Jared Wilson Frame for the first time for Pittsburgh. We're also getting to see Jordan Wara, who had a fine ball game on Thursday night in the win against Georgia Tech. He had 16 points.
Nice defense by Cameron Davis there on cue.
Pittsburgh's missed their last 5. Wilson Frame tries to end it. And Wara runs it down in the corner. Ryan McMahon on the floor, wearing number 30 for the Cards. Here's Snyder. Back from McMahon for 3.
That was cue.
Hit off the back rim. And a new shot clock. Wara catch and shoot.
That's what he did against Georgia Tech. He had 4 threes against Georgia Tech. Here we talked about Louisville's bench. They are coming through again.
7-point lead for the Cards. 8.5 gone. Eligoma backing down on Wara with the right hand. Peace Eligoma. Just his 5th field goal of the year and his first points in 5 games.
Nice move by the big man.
Back the other way, Spalding, and fouled on the drive to the basket. We'll get a break in the action in Pittsburgh. Cards by 5 on the ACC Network. Thanks for protecting our freedom and hope you're enjoying our broadcast today from Pittsburgh, where the Cards lead by 5, thanks in part to a run here by David Padgett's team. At 18-13. And Ray Spalding will be at the line. A couple of free throws after the foul on Jared Wilson Frame got us to the timeout.
That was better than his
down the
first 2.
Still coaching over here on the free throws, aren't you?
Well, you know, Louisville's getting off to a good start. They have the lead. They want to keep the lead.
Right.
They don't want Pitt to all of a sudden get motivated.
Milligan stays on the floor. And also Shamil Stevenson, 6'6", 230-pound freshman from Toronto, wearing number 23, has come onto the floor. And there's Jordan Wara picking up the foul. Freshman from Buffalo in the Louisville lineup. His first, second on David Padgett, who will be 33 years of age, by the way, here next week. In fact, on Tuesday, Coach Padgett will turn 33 out of Reno, Nevada, and of course, played at Louisville. And has done an admirable job, Bobby, under most unique circumstances. And there's a travel on Stevenson.
He had the shot, but every time you drive against Louisville, Wes, you know, you're thinking in the back of your mind. You're thinking about those big guys blocking shots.
Well, Kevin Stallings knows his Pitt team has got to take that first initiative, don't they, in terms of shooting?
They really have to.
Snyder. Skip to the corner. Nice move, baseline. Wara feeds Spalding. Got contested inside by Eligoma. And here are the Panthers, trailing by 7. Stevenson. 15 to shoot here for Wilson Frame. Milligan out front. Kick out, Wilson Frame.
Good look.
McMahon shoots it across the floor. Snyder. Skip back to him. Nice pass into the corner. Wara. Oh, a tough shot, Bobby.
He can score.
Got 5. Jordan Wara from Buffalo, New York, by way of Vermont Academy.
We have 3 guys for Louisville coming off the bench, giving a big lift to the Cardinals.
9-point lead. 10 bench points already for the Cards. Milligan. 10 to shoot for Stevenson. Stevenson sizing up Wara. Hits it.
What a great individual move. Louisville kept on switching. And just Stevenson, just great determination there. Great concentration by Shamil.
Well, Clarence Armstrong may want to double check this to see if Shamil Stevenson cut it loose before the shot clock expired.
Yeah, it was close.
Yeah.
I thought for sure they were going to get a bad look at the basket. But Shamil, just based on his own, just did a beautiful pull-up shot. They need this basket, Wes.
So they count the basket. And it is confirmed, and 7-point game it is with 9:23 to play.
They're hanging around.
Well, Louisville and Pittsburgh, interesting here, Bobby. You were touching on this. How big is this for Louisville? Well, it's very big given the Florida State and the Syracuse loss in 48 hours last week prior to the Thursday night win against Georgia Tech. Very impressive 23-point victory. But 4 of their last 6 after today are on the road.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, Wes, this is a must-win for them.
Spalding rimmed out on the soft hook.
There's that high-low look.
Milligan now. Pittsburgh trying to answer Louisville's run that staked them to this 9-point lead. Stevenson again. Spots up and scores.
How about that touch?
Back-to-back buckets by the big kid from Hillcrest Prep.
He's very athletic. 2 nice baskets by him.
Lob inside, and there'll be a foul on Stewart for a hold against Anas Mahmoud. And time for a quick check of our lending tree fast analysis in Louisville's scoring run in a 6.5-minute stretch. And you see the details on Pittsburgh's shooting. McMahon the catch, knocked down by Stewart. That'll be his 2nd foul. A couple of free throws for Ryan McMahon.
Well, you don't want to foul anybody can shoot the basketball like this kid can shoot it. This is almost automatic on the free throw line. He's getting 2 or 3 here. I believe 2.
A couple of shots. 17 of 19 at the line this year, Bobby.
Yeah, Ryan's a very important part of this Louisville team. He comes in, he's a 3-point specialist. He's got to take better care of the basketball. But the reason he was fouled there, because on the scouting report for Pitt, it says, when you see Ryan McMahon go to shoot, go get him.
Yeah.
But that time they were a little bit overly aggressive.
And a Cardinal Mooney in Sarasota, 21-year-old sophomore, who, by the way, has been drawing some comparisons for his shooting to one of your former greats, Mark Price.
Well, I got to see a little bit more.
I understand.
I really like Ryan. He's a winner. No, he was not highly recruited.
Right. Not off balance, though, when he cuts it loose much, is he?
No, he's not.
Yeah. Hit them both. Lead 7. Scoop by Wilson Frame. Here's Perry. And threw it away, trying to go to war in transition.
Might be going to the official that time.
2nd turnover on the Cards. And Louisville working on a 7-point lead. More backcourt pressure. Also, we get our first look at Dwayne Sutton, the transfer from UNC Asheville, who is originally from Louisville, went to Manual.
Shooter, scorer. Needs to play a little bit smarter.
Stevenson working off the Brown screen. Wilson Frame baseline. Now in trouble, had it punched away by Perry. Saved it. Nice hustle play, Darius Perry.
Great hands.
Mahmoud. Well, Perry thought about it. Drives. Lays it off. Mahmoud the bucket.
Perry's giving them the lift.
Yep, done a nice job as Darius Perry, the freshman from Powder Springs, Georgia, in this first half.
Playing with a lot of confidence.
Back to a 9-point advantage. That's been Louisville's biggest in the first half. 7.5 to play. Wilson Frame, catch and shoot 3. Mahmoud against Brown.
Good defense by Brown there.
Milligan trying to get Pittsburgh in transition. Wara stuck a hand in there and juggled it around. Wilson Frame back at him and a foul, and that's 2 on Wara. 3rd on the Cards. Free throws when we come back. Darius Perry stirring the drink for the Cards here in the first half. Don't forget Heroes of the Dorm, a 5-part series with over $500,000 in prizes and scholarship. You'll hear more about it coming up on today's edition of the Hardy's Halftime Report, plus highlights, stats, and Bobby Crimmins' halftime analysis.
They're hanging in there. Obviously, the big difference right now, Wes, is the inside game of both teams. This young man, Jared Wilson Frame, a junior college player, JUCO out of Northwest Florida. His team was 29-5. They went to the Final Four in Hutch. He's a scorer, and that's what was forced. Coach Stolen needed to get some experience, so he went to a little bit of the junior college route.
Jared had 22 against NC State, but only 6 the other night in the loss at Clemson.
Right.
Did have 4 blocked shots against the Tigers of Brad Brownell. McMahon had that 3 blocked partially by Davis.
I like the energy of Pitt. Pitt is hanging in there. If they can make a few outside shots, not getting much scoring inside.
Panthers shooting under 37% in the first half. See if they can close it here in the last 6.5. Louisville at 53%. And Tony Chiazza, who works with Clarence Armstrong, Lee Cassell today. And B.J. King ticketed with his first 4 on Louisville.
Little body contact, I believe, there.
So Carr to put it in play on the baseline. Chukwuka. Stewart. Back to Kenna. Sophomore from Sweden had it poked away, but right at Stevenson with 8 to shoot. Now 5 to shoot, and Carr to work. Fall away over Sutton. And Mahmoud the rebound.
Only 1 shot every time.
Yeah. Not many second chance opportunities at all for the Panthers.
No.
So far in this first half. Very nice pass out of the double team, and King to the basket for his first field goal.
BJ can drive the ball. Again, Darius Perius, nice setup and a beautiful drive.
3 for King. The lead is back to 9 for a 3rd time. And Davis tried to answer. Perry, the deflection.
Good job. The numbers are not there. Pull it out. Excellent job by Perry.
King. Mahmoud slipped the screen there, Bobby. Here's Anas back inside. Waited and scored. He's got 8.
Love the way he controlled the basketball. Louisville, I like the sense of urgency that Louisville's playing with, Wes. They want to take care of business. They know they can ill afford a loss here today.
Largest lead of the first half for the Cards at 11 as we approach 5 minutes to play. Carr rerouting around the Chukwuka screen. And the pass for Stevenson deflected. But let's go back to Anas Mahmoud, Bobby. Patience here, right?
Yeah, it helps there. He's under control. And just, gathers himself beautifully. Takes a step dribble, lays it up.
Here's the look ahead in David Padgett's schedule. My goodness. Virginia Tech. Oh, Buzz Williams and the Hokies.
How about that game yesterday?
Unbelievable.
That was some effort.
High-level ACC play. Carr, and out of the corner, Chukwuka. And the long 3 gives Pittsburgh a chance on the rebound, and almost thrown away. King knocked it in the Cards bench. Pittsburgh hit 3 of their first 4 threes. Remember, Stewart hit 2, Carr 1. Since then, Bobby, they're hitless in 8 tries.
They are, and this is an important, before they go to halftime here, you got to hang around. Louisville, they'd love to put the nail in the coffin early on. So Pitt needs a score here.
Panthers fighting through another drought. Had one earlier in this first half of about 4 minutes. Chukwuka tries to get him out of it. And the rebound for Sutton.
He can do that. That was a set play. And he's capable of making that.
Spalding finishes. And a Kevin Stallings timeout. Ray Spalding's got 4. The lead is 13. Timeout. Back on the ACC Network after you see this. Louisville driving the ball today against Pittsburgh.
Well, V.J. King, strong 2-guard. Powerful drive here, and of course the big guy inside. Mahmoud gathers himself, scores. You see the fast break, beautiful pass, and this time it's Spalding on the jumper.
Louisville attacking the basket, pounding it inside, which is what you talked about in your 4 keys of the game.
That's where the advantage is. I thought Pittsburgh would play some zone. Coach Stallings decided to come out and play some man-to-man. And now Pitt's in a tough spot, West, to try and get back in this game in the first half.
4:22 to play. Here is Terrell Brown. Bounds away. Chukwuka the rebound. You see the Pitt drought details a moment ago. Bottom of your screen.
Terrell's coming off that big game at Clemson, 19 points, so he's not afraid to shoot it.
Yep, but he's scoreless here so far. Chukwuka trying to fight through. Stolen. Snyder. Louisville the turnover. Here's Perry. Back for Quentin Snyder's open three.
He needs that so much. I think for Louisville to be a team that's going to be reckoned with in the NCAA tournament, Quentin Snyder's got to play like that.
3.5 to go. Surgical have the Cardinals been in this first half, Bobby, just in the way they've worked offensively.
Good point.
Stewart trying to answer. Sutton he and Brown got locked up. It was last touched, I believe, Chukwuka. So it will go back to the Cardinals.
Louisville, Wes, I did the Florida State game. That was a hard-fought game.
Yeah.
And then they had a little hangover on Monday night when Syracuse came in within 48 hours. And Syracuse got them.
Yep.
And then they regrouped against Georgia Tech. But now I like the sense of urgency that they are playing with. I give Coach Padgett a lot of credit for, making sure that they came out here today highly motivated.
Sutton flashing through left hand, got the roll. He's points for Dwayne Sutton.
He's a key guy. If he can just play more under control, he can score the basketball.
Under 3 to play, the lead is 18. And the Cards have just doubled it in a snap.
Well, look how they're playing defense. I mean, they're getting after it.
King deflected. Here's Davis with 10 to shoot.
They're switching everything, Wes.
Davis attacking, feeds Brown, got blocked. Sutton fires an outlet. Here is King, the dunk. Wow.
How about that? Great offense by Pitt. And what about the block by Williams? And what about the outlet pass?
13-0 run by the Cards. And there's an offensive foul, I believe, on Brown for the screen. And here's another look, Bobby.
Yeah. Hey, see, I thought this was going to be a score. Now look at the look up. I'll tell you, Wes, Louisville might have one of the best benches in the country. And this bench for Louisville, again, I mentioned earlier, they scored 38 points against Georgia Tech. And this bench is coming through again.
Sutton for King, spinning. VJ King.
He's feeling it. He's just feeling it. He's using his athletic ability, his scoring ability. I don't have an answer right now for Pitt. I'm not sure Coach Stolen does either. Somebody's got to make a basket here.
Pitt's gone 7 minutes without a field goal. Just the free throws by Wilson Frame, the only markers here for him. Carr on the drive. Kick out Davis. And the rebound. Here are the Cards again. Snyder for King. And he's bumped and fouled by Cameron Davis. That'll be 7 now on the Panthers with 92 seconds to play in the first half. And it will send Vincent King Jr., 6'6" sophomore from Cleveland, to the line.
Yeah, he's about a 70% free throw shooter. Right now, Louisville, again, they are taking care of business in a big way. They're going to be very, very happy at halftime. But I know Coach Padgett's going to tell them there's still 20 more minutes of basketball. But, the importance of this game, Wes, you got to feel for Pitt because nobody wants to lose to Pitt. Pitt obviously wants to get their first ACC win. But the teams that come in here, if, in Selection Sunday, if Louisville, they're going to look and say, no, wait a minute, you lost at Pitt? That could be a killer. So Louisville, I love their sense of urgency. I love their, taking care of business. And all of a sudden we have a Pitt turnover.
Unforced error on the inbound violation. Stevenson put it in the air to Carr before he landed out of bounds.
You hate to see this for Pitt. You just hate it. But on the other side, Louisville, they want to take care of business in a big way. And that's what they're doing right now.
King. Couldn't get the roll, and Stewart is fouled by VJ King. Well, second on King, 5 on the Cards.
VJ just feels like he can take anybody right now and score.
Well, I'd say so. I mean, he's exploded for 9, but 7 of them have come in a sequence here of about the last 3 minutes. McMahon replaces King. Cards have made 7 straight from the floor.
Pitt's got to keep playing. I really feel for these young men. And again, we talked about the youth of this program. You know, you've got to be the youngest team in the country.
Well, the 5th youngest, Bobby,
well,
346.
That's hard to believe that anybody's younger than Pitt.
8 to shoot, a minute to go, and there's a foul on the Cards, who were trying to double down on Brown.
You got 7 freshmen, you got 10 newcomers. I mean, how can you be more younger than that, Wes?
Well, according to the metric, they're 346 out of 351.
I don't believe the metric.
I know you don't, and I figured you wouldn't buy into much of that. Under a minute to go.
And I'll bet you this. I'll bet you those other 4 teams don't play in the
That's where you're going. Now we're talking. And there's a shot by Stevenson. He's fouled on the play.
You know, they're playing a power conference with 7 freshmen, 10 newcomers.
Yep. 7 on Louisville, 2nd on Ray Spalding.
So I'm going to go on the limb here. I'm going to say they're the youngest team in the country in a power conference.
Okay. All right. We'll give you full credit. Here's Stevenson, by the way, freshman from Toronto at the line. By the way, this Shamil Stevenson, he and Carr and Brown, Bobby, 2 years from now, could be the difference in Pittsburgh's basketball fortune.
Yeah, good point. You know, you want to see light at the end of the tunnel. And we talked about, you know, their senior, Ryan Luther, and getting injured, being out for the year. He could have definitely been a factor in this year's team.
There's a look at Ryan Luther, by the way, from Gibsonia, Pennsylvania, who's got a twin brother, by the way, Colin Luther, who's a college basketball player at Elon.
Wow. And I've seen Ryan play. He's a tough guy, hard-nosed guy.
Oh, Perry out of the corner. The barrage continues on the 14th 3 of the year for Darius Perry.
The rain is starting to pour.
26-point lead for the Cards.
What about Darius Perry?
What a good first half he's had. About a second difference, shot clock to game clock. Carr high-arcing 3. Rebound, Perry on the run with 7 seconds. Kick McMahon.
I don't know where you are. Ryan should know.
Here's Snyder. And the horn will sound. And the Cards will take a commanding lead to the locker room because Pittsburgh went the last 8:53 without a field goal. 46-20 at the half. Hardy's halftime report from the Steel City is next.
ACC basketball is being brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. By Hardee's. By Progressive Insurance. And by Mellow Mushroom, out of this world pizza.
All right, let's roll it from Independence Boulevard in Charlotte. And here he is bringing the ball up the floor at All Hallows in the Bronx. All right, now that's the low point, 1970, right? Upset, lost to NC State in the title game.
That's correct.
And now let me show you the high point. Give me 93 in James Forrest.
That was something.
At the old Charlotte Coliseum on Paul Buck Drive, huh? How about that?
Well, that was redemption. You know, I lost the ACC championship as a player, and when I went into coaching, I wanted redemption. And I was very fortunate. Had some great players. Mark Price, John Sally. In 1985, we got our first redemption.
85 at the Omni.
Yep.
90 and 93, right?
Yep, that's correct.
93 the last with James Forrest, and it's always awesome to work with you. We're having a blast here today. Boy, what a first half performance by Louisville, Bobby.
Yeah. You know, I love ACC basketball. I just love watching it, and I hate to see Pitt have to suffer like this. But again, as you mentioned, I admire Louisville for taking care of business.
Yeah.
Because Louisville, when they lost, you know, they lost those 2 games at home, and I talked about the Florida State game. That was a battle. I mean, that was a war. Kamaji, 7'4". Wes, you talked about shot blocks, alley-oops. And Louisville was right there, but Florida State won at the end. And then Syracuse, they bit them, and that was their 3rd straight loss after previously losing to Virginia.
But you and I, when we were in Atlanta together working at Georgia Tech, we always talked about the gauntlet of the league.
Yeah.
And you had to survive the marathon. And back then it was 16. Now it's 18 games, Bobby.
Yeah.
You can't let yourself linger on wins or losses, can you?
No, 15 teams. It's a monster. It's an unforgiving league.
Yeah. Pittsburgh trailing 26. You saw their details of the first half. Parker Stewart, the Panthers in this long drought now that ended the first half, and Marcus Carr going to work.
What you have to do here, Wes, is tell your team, okay, forget the scoreboard.
Right.
Let's go out and beat them the second half. Period. Let's just beat them. Build on, they got Boston College coming in here pretty soon, I believe.
Yeah,
Tuesday night.
That's right. Yep.
So, the challenge right now is for Coach Stolen is to keep this team motivated, keep them together, and keep them playing. If anybody drops their head, they have to come out and sit on the bench.
Snyder, lob, Mahmoud. 10 for Anas Mahmoud. By the way, when BC comes in here on Tuesday night, Bobby, they'll be here after beating Miami yesterday.
Yes.
And Jerome Robinson, who in my opinion should be the ACC Player of the Week after 46 at South Bend the other night, and he responded with 26 yesterday in the win over the Canes.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The Robinsons are playing well. The Justins, Jeromes.
All the Robinsons, right? Yeah, Jerome Robinson, fantastic. Justin has been equally as good. He might be the ACC Player of the Week as well after 32 against NC State, and then the huge lift last night for the Hokies in the win at Charlottesville.
That was some game. I watched that game in my hotel room, and the ending of those games, the importance of making free throws, Wes.
Yeah.
But what a rebound by Blackshear to put it back in for the game winner.
King knocked that away and comes away with the loose change. Snyder tees up another one. Carr, the rebound.
The good news for Louisville, their leader, Quentin Snyder, is playing some basketball today. He did not play well against Florida State, and he did not play well against Syracuse. Did not play well against Georgia Tech either.
Yeah, did have 7 assists, but only 4 points, and missed all 5 of his field goal tries against the Jackets.
And I just think, Quentin has the experience, a senior. Get in there, get in.
And Brown fouled. I believe Mahmoud will draw the penalty. That'll be his first and number 1. Here's a look back now. Last night, 61-60. First of all, it's the 9th overtime game in ACC play this year.
Wow.
9 overtime games in this league. Justin Robinson off of 32 on Wednesday night against NC State. Had 20 and 7 last night. And, of course, the redshirt senior, Devin Hall, powered the Cavaliers with 16.
They had beaten them in Blacksburg by over 25.
26 points,
26 points.
Yeah.
So I expected Virginia to win that game. I really thought Virginia had a chance to go 18-0 in the ACC. And I really take my hat off to the Hokies and Buzz Williams. And again, Blackshear, the hustle by Blackshear there at the end. It was a great basketball game, and the fans were fantastic. In-state rivalry.
Snyder, foul line area. Back for Perry. 2.5 gone, and Darius Perry tried to slip it to Spalding, and it hit the iron. Bounced right to Carr. It's a 30-point lead here for the Cardinals. And then Spalding deflected that and comes away with it, fires the outlet, and King with another dunk on the run out.
What about that deflection? What about the steals? What about the length, the arm span?
Well, you wonder how 6'10 guys in the top 6 in steals.
Well, we just saw it.
And you get to see it here. There's the drive, and Wilson Frame breaks the drought for the Panthers.
Good, strong drive by Wilson Frame.
12 minutes without a field goal for Pittsburgh. And here's another look at.
Watch the hands. See the hands? Always moving the hands. You get a steal and an assist on the same play. What Louisville wants to do now is just continue to take care of basketball, continue to play at the high level they've been playing.
Here's Jared Wilson Frame, who can get hot. It got blocked by Mahmoud.
Not a smart move there. You cannot challenge these big guys from Louisville.
Snyder.
I like this guy. He's energy.
Here's Mahmoud rolling with the hook.
Looked like Lou Alcindor there.
12 for Mahmoud.
That's one of his favorite shots. Boy, Louisville just feeling it.
And they're doing it without the 10th best scorer in the league today, and Deng Adel, who's sitting out a second ball game with an ankle injury. It's expected back next Saturday against Carolina at the KFC Yum Center.
And you know what would be great about this, Wes? When Ding comes back, you know, he can't be messing around because these guys off the bench are playing so well. It's good for him to sit there and watch these guys play. You know why they're playing so well? They want playing time. So when Adele does come back, he's got to be ready to play.
Blocking foul on Milligan will get us to a timeout. Cards in control today. Back after this. You're watching the ACC Network, an exclusive production of Raycom Sports. And don't forget the New York Life ACC Tournament returns to Brooklyn March 6th through the 10th. The ACC is giving you a chance to win a VIP trip for two, including tickets, hotel accommodations, and a travel voucher. Visit theacc.com/VIP for your chance to win. The winner will be selected, by the way, this Thursday, February the 15th. Back with Bobby Crimmins, Wes Durham, Dave Berenger, our producer, Billy McCoy, our director. Louisville in control on Pittsburgh, leading 55-23 as VJ King's going to shoot free throws out of the timeout after the blocking call on Jonathan Milligan. So VJ King, the sophomore from Cleveland, has had himself quite an afternoon. 11 points in just 18 minutes so far. Make it 12.
He didn't play a lot as a freshman, Wes, and he's very talented.
Bobby, he only averaged 5 points and 2 rebounds against the league last year.
Yeah.
And to your point, only had 3 double-figure games in ACC play.
Yeah, he's strong. When his jumper's going, he's a complete package.
Well, 3-level scorer, right?
Yes.
Stewart. Chapuka.
Good ball movement.
Yep. Milligan for Wilson Frame. Boy, Louisville moves so quickly in the defensive box, don't they?
They come to play, Wes.
Stewart fights through and one for Parker Stewart.
Darius is not happy with that, but give Stewart a lot of credit. He stayed with it. Freshman against freshman against freshman.
Second on Perry. Number 2 on the cards, and a nice strong move, huh?
Yeah, and Perry, you know, Coach Padgett will show him that in film and say, Darius, you can't reach. Keep your hands straight up, and he did. He went for the ball, and if you're going to reach, you got to make sure you get the ball. You cannot get any piece of the hand.
9 now for Stewart, the freshman from Union City, Tennessee, who originally committed to Ole Miss and then elected to reopen his recruitment. And Bobby, you mentioned first half. Son of a coach, his dad's the head coach at UT Martin in the Ohio Valley Conference.
I'd love players whose dad were coaching. Look at this jumper.
Ray Spalding.
How do you stop that?
Goal.
Love Louisville's front line. Love them. And then you got Malik Williams just waiting to come in, baby.
Milligan a 3 from the corner.
There you go.
Just the 8th triple of the year for Jonathan Milligan. Senior from Orlando. Spalding spins left-handed and scores again.
First one to the right, this one with the left.
Wow.
Well, I like the way Pitt is playing.
Take it away. Here's Perry. Open floor and cranks it down.
Up until that pass it was. Oh, look at Darius. I tell you what, when Adele and these guys come back, this guy Perry, he's going to say, Coach, I want to play. And you know what? I think Coach Padgett's going to play him a lot. He is a spark plug, and he can play the 2. And right now, he started the last couple games because of Adele's injury. But if Q is not playing well, you can put him at the point.
There's a foul on Spalding against Shamil Stevenson. 3rd on Spalding is the 3rd on Ville here in the second.
Quick hands, anticipation in the pass lane, poor pass. It's not only the passer's fault, sometimes it's the guy you're passing to. He has to come meet the basketball.
Stevenson missed the free throw. He's now 1 for 3 at the line. McMahon into the lineup to replace Snyder. Bobby, you mentioned Perry, and we're going to maybe get a quick peek of this with McMahon coming on and Snyder going off. We saw Perry handle the ball out front. Snyder was kind of playing that off guard, if you will, a little bit in the first half. And now McMahon's going to handle this, but let's keep an eye on and see what Perry does here.
Yeah, I would prefer Perry with the basketball here. But I'm not the coach of this team. Because McMahon is such a great shooter.
Tough pass there. Perry frustrated. He didn't put enough air under it for Spalding. Nice move, Wilson frame. Here's Stewart. And the rebound contested. And a whistle and a foul here. Tony Chiazza has called Spalding for his 4th. So Ray Spalding has 4 and Dwayne Sutton with 13:15 to play into the ball game. Spalding has 2 of Louisville's 4 here in the half. He's a little sideways about the events, even though it's a 33-point difference.
Very important for Pitt. Pitt, you know, they really, the last thing they want to get that 1 win in the ACC. They don't want to go 0-18, and that's why it's so important that they keep playing. Great move here.
Stevenson blocked by Sutton, made the save, but threw it to King. Crosses over Stewart, glides in and scores. 14 for B.J. King. Largest lead of the ball game now for the Ville.
Louisville's gaining confidence. They're going to get a whole week off before they go home and play the Tar Heels next Saturday.
Carolina has Notre Dame tomorrow night in Chapel Hill, finishing that 3-game and 5-day gauntlet that started on Thursday against Duke.
And you got to, you know, Louisville, I bet you Coach Padgett has rested these guys because they played a lot of games. Good shot there.
Wilson frame, bangs in the triple.
Louisville has played a lot of games in a short period of time. And they have come in here with fresh legs, and they have taken care of business. Look at that pass.
Mahmoud fouled on the flyby by Jared Wilson frame. That'll be his 3rd, just the 2nd of the half on the Panthers.
And you see who made the pass.
Yeah.
Perry again. When you look at the big picture, Louisville, you know, right now they're in the NCAA tournament. They have the nice win against Indiana.
Yeah.
But that's it outside of the league. And, you know, that game Saturday against the Heels, that's a big game for Louisville.
Don't forget the New York Life ACC tournament right around the corner. Crimmins will give you his restaurant recommendations. We start play on Tuesday the 6th at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, and our full ACC network coverage includes all 14 games with the title game on Saturday night. Don't forget the remarkable run by Duke, first ever to win 4 games to capture the crown a year ago in Brooklyn. Looking forward to having you there this year, Coach.
I'm looking forward to it. I'll be there with Georgia Tech, and Georgia Tech struggling this year.
Big game tonight for the Jackets.
Big game against the Dukies.
3 ball by Brown. By the way, Marvin Bagley will not play tonight in Atlanta.
That's good news for the Yellow Jackets.
That's a little bit of a knee injury, Bobby.
Okay, yeah.
So Bagley will take the night off. And here's McMahon. Left it short and knocked out of bounds by Brown. It will stay with the Cards. 34 the difference. Timeout at the Peterson Event Center on an ACC Network Sunday. Well, quick check of the ACC headlines on this Sunday, and we already talked about Jerome Robinson went for 46 the other night at South Bend, set a Purcell Pavilion record, by the way. Carolina beat Duke Thursday night and then validated it with the win against NC State yesterday to kind of right their ship a little bit. 5 teams in the top 25, and Bobby, that's going to carry us to a look at the Honda dealers of the Carolinas top 25. Now, these are the teams that have been highlighted that lost yesterday. Just yesterday, Bobby.
Yep, I watched most of it. I stayed up for a little bit of that Gonzaga.
Pretty good game, by the way.
Yeah. But a lot of teams went down. I love the parity in college basketball, Wes. I think, you know, I've said this to a couple of my friends. I think the product that we have in college basketball might be the best that I have ever seen. The great players, the great coaches, really impressive.
Wara fights through. Jordan Wara now has got 7 off the bench.
He wants playing time too. I love this bench.
Stevenson foul from behind by Dwayne Sutton on the drive. 5 on Louisville, and that'll be the first on the sophomore transfer from UNC Asheville, who, by the way, was the Big South Tournament MVP 2 seasons ago.
Yeah. He wanted to come home product. But this bench, you know, They want to play. I mean, I would start, Darius Perry. Of course, he's starting right now because of
you're building the lineup now. You're helping Padgett with his card? Is that what you're doing over here?
Well, he's going to play. I mean, you're going to play him and Wara. Wara's the next guy.
You want to start him too?
Well, he's making shots.
You only start 5, Bobby.
He's making shots. And then, you got McMahon, and then you got Sutton. So I think you have 4 guys. And, of course, I didn't mention Malik Williams. You got 5 guys right now.
But let me ask you something. How much of it is David Padgett with Trent Johnson and Greg Paulus and R.J. Evans sitting over there? How much of it is offense and how much of it is defense? Because we said this at the top today talking about blocks. This is a connected basketball team defensively, Bobby.
They are. But Coach Padgett, he was not happy there for a few games. It all started at Virginia. But, he was in my Coach of the Year. I have 4, my top 4 Coach of the Years going into yesterday were, Tony Bennett at Virginia. Mm-hmm. Of course, Brad Brunell at Clemson.
Oh, yeah.
And then Kevin Keats at NC State. And I had David Padgett in there. Now, yesterday a couple things got shook up. Who would you go with right now, Coach of the Year?
Well,
Brad Brunell?
Brad Brunell picked 13th, Bobby.
Yeah.
And right now stands in that fight for the double bye.
Yeah.
Tigers have had the weekend off. Big game for them Wednesday night in Tallahassee, by the way.
Imagine them Clemson getting a double bye in the ACC tournament.
Just a great statement. And to tell you, the thing that impresses you is the toughness of that team after Dante Grantham's injury.
Right. I like the way Pitt is playing. When people see this score, they're going to think, well, Pitt must have been terrible. And I do not think that's the case. The real story of this game is that Louisville, they came to play with a sense of urgency, again, after losing 2 out of 3 at home.
Mahmoud with a rebound, with a man with 1 red shoe. Mahmoud is without a shoe, and here is Perry fighting to the basket, draws the foul, and that'll allow Anas to slip back on the Adidas. Lost a sock, lost a shoe, and got a rebound at the defensive end of the floor, Bobby.
Well, I give Coach Padgett a lot of credit for making sure these guys were motivated today.
Yeah.
Making sure, they were not, feeling sorry for themselves. He got this team prepared where they came in here with a sense of urgency to take care of business. Because, let's be honest, this was a must-win. I thought the Georgia Tech game was a must-win for Louisville, and I thought today was a must-win.
Well, when you lose the 2 games at home, you got to find a way to kind of,
Exactly.
You got to reset it a little bit. Perry hits both free throws, by the way. He's got 7. It's a 34-point game. 9.5 to play. On the drive, Wilson Frame scores. McMahon. Here is Wara with back to Ryan McMahon. Lance Thomas has come on the floor, by the way. Wara, hold up! Wait a second. Jordan Wara with a right-hand punch.
Beautiful pass by McMahon.
Rebound on the backside by Brown.
Go up, big guy. Good try. Good try.
72-38, under 9 to go. McMahon to Mahmoud, lost the handle on it. Carr with the Louisville turnover.
Got the numbers.
Wilson Frame bumped and fouled, and I believe that's on Jordan Wara, who gave us our latest highlight here this afternoon for the Cards.
You don't think this guy wants to play? But what I like about this guy, he can really shoot. Georgia Tech played zone the other night, and this guy busted that zone up. He's a shooter. He's big.
7 fouls on Louisville. Latest is the 3rd on the Buffalo freshman. And Wilson Frame hit the 1st. So he's got 10 today, make it 11. Here's a look at the standings. We showed these to you briefly at the top. Notice, Bobby, the 6-team collision up here from Clemson down to Louisville. There is a lot of heat left in the final 3 weeks with those particular teams.
There sure is, Wes. And, you know, those buys are so important. Here we see McMahon getting into scoring action. Yep. It's been a while since he's hit a 3.
But then Duke, a year ago, Bobby, won 4 games.
Yeah.
So while everybody talks about the double bye, out front, 3-ball Boykins. Monty Boykins is a grad transfer from Lafayette, who appears in his 18th game this season. We approach 8 minutes to play.
I want to see how Virginia bounces back after that loss yesterday.
Mahmoud missed everything with a right hand.
I love the way North Carolina is playing right now, but I still think Virginia is the best team in the ACC.
Bobby, the Cavaliers are in Miami Tuesday night.
That's a big test, eh?
Yep, sure is.
And Coach Larinaga.
Lance Thomas the foul. That'll get us to a timeout. We'll come back and talk more about Louisville and the rest of the league as we continue from Pittsburgh. Matinee in the ACC this afternoon. Let's roll the tape from the Carrier Dome, Bobby. Darrell Moore, the rebound and the stick back. He's got a dozen. Bryant Crawford kicking it in from out in Rochester. Good heavens. He's standing in the S. He's got 14, but Tyus Battle has got 24. O'Shea Brissett has added double figures as well for Coach Boeheim. And they've got a 10-point lead midway the second half, does the Qs. And all of this discussion here in the last few minutes, here's that double bye. Now, these are today's standings, Bobby, and that would be the top 4 double buys. And then you get the single buys, which is also
very important.
Pretty important.
Yeah. I was talking about Coach Larinaga before the break. He did not coach.
Right. Battling a little bit of the flu, I think.
A little bit of the flu, and I hope he'll be okay for Tuesday night's game against the Cavaliers, where he used to be an assistant coach under Terry Holland.
That's right. Shamil Stevenson.
Syracuse is another team like Louisville. They're in the picture, and they want to be able to take care of business and win at home.
McMahon going to work. Tried to get it to Wara. Wilson Frame reached across. That'll be 4 on the junior college transfer from Hartford, Connecticut, by way of Northwest Florida State, Jared Wilson Frame. That's the 4th foul on the Panthers. And here's Jordan Wara, who had Louisville, North Carolina State, Georgia Tech, and Cal kind of in his final group from the recruiting perspective before signing with the Cards.
I'm surprised he didn't go to warm weather. He's from Buffalo.
Well, Louisville might be warmer than Buffalo.
Well, if he'd have made a visit to Miami, he would have signed.
It's nice of you to bring the Canes into the discussion when they apparently were not in the final considerations. Here's Carr. Scoop and score, Marcus Carr.
He's got quickness, he's got strength.
Yeah, from Toronto, the freshman, just 5 here today. And his second field goal in 8 tries. Been a tough day shooting for Pittsburgh. 31% for the ball game, and Lance Thomas draws the foul.
And what Louisville wants to do now, Wes, they don't want to get sloppy. They want to continue to run their offense. That was a set play. And they want to really make sure they look at this bomb.
McMahon had it rim out.
That was not a set play.
Thomas a foul. It's his second. 9 on the card, so 1-1 down to our left here with under 7 to play. Lance Thomas is a guy who's not seen much action. Played a minute the other night in the win against Georgia Tech. Did not play in the previous 3 games, but as a young prospect at 6'8", 220, who they're hoping can develop over the next couple of years. And remember, you got Mahmoud's a senior, Spalding a junior.
Right. Nice free throw. You know, this guy here, he's 6'9", he's from Sweden. He went to New Mexico Junior College for 1 year. And the coaches really feel like if these kids can develop, if they can get better, add a few more pieces, that there could be some light at the end of the tunnel for this Pitt team.
Second one by Chabuka is good. Bobby Kane became a fan of basketball watching NBA highlights on YouTube in Sweden. And you talk about the influence of the game worldwide.
Yeah.
It's the first I've heard of that. McMahon tried to force it up, blocked out of bounds. It'll stay with the Panthers.
I get disappointed when Ryan does that. I have so much respect for his basketball IQ. And he must take care of the basketball. When he comes in the game Saturday against the Tar Heels, he cannot do that. He's got to be ball strong, tougher with the basketball.
Perry with 9 to shoot. Got a screen from Malik Williams. And right into Wilson frame and a held ball. Will keep it with the Ville. 5 to shoot.
This will be a nice ride home for Louisville, and they got the whole week to prepare. But this is...
We'll get Dingadell healthy too, Bobby.
Yes, good point.
3 ball from the right, Malik Williams.
How about him? I tell you, I know he wants to play the 3. I bet he's telling Coach Padgett, let me play with those 2 big guys. Put me at the 3.
34-point difference. Parker Stewart launches and hits. 6.5, 12 in the game for the 7th best 3-point shooter in conference play. The freshman Stewart.
Pitt has not laid down. They continue to play. Played man-to-man the entire game, which surprised me a little bit.
Wara on the follow. So Jordan Wara will get to the line to try and add the point.
They see Coach Stallings. It's got to be tough. Got to be tough for him. Can they get 1 win? And right now, he's got to be thinking about Tuesday night. When he goes in that locker room, one thing he wants to tell these guys, way to keep fighting. We have a game Tuesday night against Boston College, and you talked about Robinson. And Boston College, they're in this picture too, so they don't want to come in here. That's a tough thing that Pitt's facing. Nobody wants to give Pitt their first ACC win.
Wilson frame out front. More of the rebound.
That's the shot you got to make for Pitt. That was good ballman. And, we visited with Coach Spaulding in the locker room before the game, and that's what he told us, Wes. We have to make shots.
And a foul on Thomas as he jockeyed with Stevenson. Lance Thomas has picked up 3 fouls here in a very quick amount of time off the bench of David Padgett. Remember, he's playing in part because Spaulding's got 4. Mahmoud's over there with 2. I think that David Padgett would just soon be ready to let some of these guys get some valuable playing minutes here to finish out.
Yeah, I cannot say enough about Louisville's bench.
Stevenson.
Another excellent shot that needs to be made.
Chukwuka, the save, got into the seats to do it.
Wes, if they can make some of these shots and stay in the game, look at that.
Carr had it blocked at its goaltending on Thomas.
They're playing some basketball now. Look at that. They have enthusiasm.
Well, now Marcus Carr gave you the full service here.
Yeah. It's important, Wes, for them to end this game with some positives. And especially, again, with Boston College coming in here Tuesday. These kids got to keep fighting. And again, for people who just look at the scoreboard, they're going to think Boston College, they stink. That is not the case right now. Excuse me, Pitt, they stink. That is not the case today. Louisville came in here and took complete control of this game. This is more about Louisville playing well than Pitt playing poorly.
4th foul on Lance Thomas, by the way, in just 6 minutes. And there goes Stevenson on the drive. Shamil now, his 4th field goal of the afternoon, gives him a dozen.
They're not quitting.
Perry. Williams sets, left it on the front rim. Scramble for the loose change. Thomas tried to pick it up, lost it.
Got a mismatch. You can take the big guy.
Thomas plays with 4. Carr on the drive. And Marcus Carr scores.
How about the little head fake there?
I like Marcus Carr. I like the potential there of the young man from Toronto.
You got Carr, you got Stewart, you got Wilson Frame, you got Cameron Davis. The bigs did not play real well today. We mentioned Terrell Brown, 19 at Clemson. The bigs got to step up Tuesday night against BC.
6-0 run here by the Panthers. 8 to shoot. Williams misses on the jumper.
Keep going. Go, Pitt.
Carr Working on Perry. Stevenson fires and hits.
Good basketball. Good basketball. Carr was under control. He didn't force it. He kicked it out. This is what we were hoping to see a little bit. Actually, they started out playing like this, but again, Louisville took complete control of the game.
3 minutes to go, and a foul on Stevenson is going to get us to a timeout. Louisville in control. Back after word from your local ACC station. Quick check of our Toyota game summary. Don't forget, for summaries of other ACC games today and throughout the year, go to the ACC.com, and you see Shamil Stevenson. Good bit of his work has come here in the second half, but the field goal number, Bobby, and points in the paint. You talked about it at the top.
Yeah, that's been the mismatch. That's the only thing you could say. We knew they needed to make shots, and they made some shots, but inside, we knew Louisville was going to pound it inside. That had to be Coach Padgett's game plan, and sure enough, they took complete control of the game.
25-point lead, and Lance Thomas, freshman from Norcross, Georgia, on the front end of the 1-and-1.
I don't know much about this guy. He's another young man from Georgia.
Yep. Top 20 power forward. Out of the recruiting rankings a season ago, and hits both free throws.
Nice touch.
Points.
Good to see Pitt finish the game playing well.
Yep, they've cut into this a little bit here recently. Here's Milligan. Lob for Brown with Williams defending. Here's Stewart. Right back for Brown. That got knocked away. Williams gives chase. Milligan finally runs it down. 2 to shoot. Brown cuts it loose. And that'll bounce out of bounds in the corner and belong to the Cards. Well, our Chevy Performer of the Game is brought to you by your local Chevy dealers, and the performance is Anas Mahmoud. 14 points, 2 blocks today, to go along with 5 rebounds in just 26 minutes, Bobby.
Yeah, the big guy, he gives him a great inside presence. He can, he's one of the best shot blockers in the country. He can score. Him and Spaulding, they're a load inside. They're as good a 4-5 combination as I've seen.
McMahon wraps it around for Thomas in the field goal.
That's a set play. That's McMahon's role. Hit the open shot and get the ball inside.
Young man from Sarasota, Florida, with a nice bounce pass. Under 2 to go. Inside, Eli Goma had a shot at it, and last touched by the Cardinals, they finally decide. Lee Cassell got a little help from Clarence Armstrong.
Let me ask you, you did the NC State game here, and Pitt played a great basketball game. And
35 minutes, they were as good as I'd seen all year.
And why they play so well in that 35 minutes?
Well, first of all, they hit threes in the first half.
Right.
Second half, the well went dry, and NC State did a lot of things defensively, but State also got in transition too.
So in other words,
the next ball game against Pittsburgh, I think, is probably as frustrating to Panther fans as the NC State game is. Another tight fit that Stallings' team probably had a chance to win. But Bobby, what's getting them here recently, seemingly, like the other night at Clemson or here, are these droughts, scoring droughts. And you know, when you're challenged to score, that's a hard way to make a living in this league.
They also got to be getting mentally down. They have to.
That's Joe Griffin, by the way, wearing number 3. He and Jacob Redding have come on the floor here this afternoon.
When you get in that losing, it's a downward spiral. It's hard to get out of it.
Out of the corner, Boykins. Williams the rebound.
You just hate to see anybody, go 0-18 in the league. You really feel for these young men. You feel for the coaches. But nobody's going to feel sorry for you.
Joe Griffin is at a South Oldham High School in the Louisville area. 3-ball Malik Williams. Wow.
I'm telling you, he should. Is there any way you could decrease your height and try and play small forward?
They got a nice touch, doesn't he?
I tell you what.
Oh! Milligan inside. The basket for Boykins and the foul.
Malik Williams is just, to have that in your repertoire, to be able to look down your bench and if Spaulding or Mahmoud get in foul trouble, and to bring Malik Williams in the game you don't lose anything, and you actually gain perimeter shooting with the big guy.
Lance Thomas is going to foul out of the ball game. He finishes with 6 points, but Thomas ran into a couple of whistles. Final 38 seconds. The Ville with 91 points, and they're on the way to their 18th win. It'll be their 8th in league play. Crimmins is ready to take full credit for Malik Williams.
He wants to play guard. He doesn't want to play inside. They don't need him inside. They got Spalding and Mahmoud.
He's got 14 and 4 threes to his bucket today. Eli Goma with 20 seconds left, and Peace went back with the left hand, and Sutton the rebound, and that'll do it.
All right, don't try and score. Just hold the ball.
Coach him to the end, Bobby.
And watch Redden. Redden might going to make a little move here. No, he's not.
94-60 is the final. Louisville has now picked up 2 straight, and the Cards get their 8th in the league now with 6 days off before Carolina visits the KFC Yum Center next Saturday. And Pittsburgh will welcome BC here to the Peterson Event Center on Tuesday night. So the Cards are winners. Final comments coming up from the Steel City on a Sunday on the ACC Network right after this.